2026 starts with a wild moon. Welcome to Star Connections. Thank you for tuning in to the stars with me. I am Miriam, a traditional astrologer. Yes, 2026 starts with a wild moon. This is an extremely rare phenomenon. Over the past 20 years, while tracking the moon daily in a traditional fashion for the Void of Course, I only came across this one other time. It's called a feral moon, which means she is wild. So what is a wild moon? Let me first take a step back and explain a few minor details. The moon travels through the zodiac, the 12 signs, in approximately 28 days, spending roughly 2.5 days in each sign. The 12 signs are better known as our birth signs. During this 28-day cycle, we get the moon phases, but also the moon touches each and every other planet with aspects. Aspects are different distances that the moon makes contact with the planets. When it's, for instance, full moon, the moon is opposite the sun. When it's new moon, the sun and the moon are at the same place, and so on and on. And that is the same with all the other planets. More information about the Void of Course moon can be found on my website, videos and my calendar. So a wild moon is when the moon makes a last aspect in a sign, then is Void of Course, enters the next sign, and during the transit in that next sign, the moon does not make any other aspect with any of the other planets. Therefore, she is feral and is wild. So you might have noticed that in traditional astrology I do not use the modern outer planets and stick purely to the 7 heptad. Now let me show you the example of the month that I encountered the feral moon. As you can see here, now I've made a few notes on that. You can see on the top left the date and place and time. Now the feral moon did not start at that moment, but it was during the same month. I made a timestamp of this moment so we can see what an effect the feral moon might have had on this event. The rising at the moment of this was Libra, ruled by Venus. Okay, so I go to the next slide. And 1 week later, we have a solar eclipse. So we are in eclipse season and Venus has entered Virgo. You can see at the bottom of this image, Venus in the 4th house, Virgo. And that is not such a good place for Venus to be. And she was the ruler of that event. Let me see, then we go to the next slide. That is when the feral moon started. That was the 25th of October 2023. And it was the last aspect the moon made with Venus, an opposition. And yeah, then the moon traveled as a wild moon through Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. Next slide. Then the moment that the moon entered the next sign, So got out of this wildness. The first aspect she made is with Saturn, who was just there at 0 degrees of Pisces. A little bit of a strange place for Saturn. The planet of restriction feels more like he is in drift sand. And the moon has entered Taurus, again another sign that is ruled by Venus. Now, the same day, we got, let me just get to the next slide, we have another eclipse. I put that moment over the timestamp, and there we can see that the ascendant of that moment, of the 7th, and the moment that the moon got out of the feral moon, was the first aspect again to Mars. I hope you're still here with me. I got a little confused because I thought I didn't put this chart in there, but I did. So next, we get the same day, the 28th of October 2023, a lunar eclipse. Now, if we put this lunar eclipse over the timestamp of the 7th of that month, there is no aspect at whatsoever from any of the planets to any of the other planets. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm not implying anything. I do not say that this is the effect of it, but I'm only observing. So, yeah. Let this just sink in. Nothing left. Looks like it. Okay, this brings us to January 4th of 2026. Let me just check my notes. All right, so the last aspect is to Saturn. And then the moon is again wild in another fire sign, Leo. You can see there where I put the arrows, Saturn below and the moon above. And this is relocated to where I am, that is in Amsterdam. It doesn't really matter where you are, it just moves and in different houses, but it is the same. So you just got to recalculate your time zone, that's all. Yes, so that will bring us to January the 4th of 2026, when that is when we will have the wild moon in the first week of the new year. So yeah, the last aspect is to Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces, ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is close to the moon in Cancer. So it is quite an emotional, watery feel. It can feel quite heavy because it's the last aspect to Saturn. The moon will be wild, transiting through Leo, another fiery sign, but luckily this time not sandwiched between two eclipses, so that is good. And Leo is ruled by the sun, and by the previous one, the moon was wild in Aries, and that was ruled by Mars. So that is quite different. Let's focus on the positive side of things. We are in a collective consciousness, and we are incredibly powerful, and we are at the moment in some sort of a fast lane of awareness, that more and more people become aware of what is going on and might not even realize that they are more aware than before. Yeah, so do not fight. That's an important ingredient, because this wild moon can go anywhere, and I think that the outcome is strongly determined by the intent set as a collective. Or if you have a strong intent, focus on a positive outcome, focus on a world that you want to see. And yeah, that is the challenge that we have now and the opportunity with this wild moon as well. It is good to know that there is a wild moon, and it is good to know that we have a wild moon, that this is happening, and also know that the previous wild moon, what might have been the effect of it. And so this brings us to this opportunity to really focus on a positive outcome. And no wars, please. No one wants wars. Only the people that are on the top that making money out of it. They see us as cattle. So yeah, be aware of that. Anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, no fear, have no fear, and much love, or whatever it is that you want to see. Next slide. So on the 6th of January, the moon will come out of this wildness and entering into Virgo. I will show you, let me just go to the next thing, because in 2026 we have quite large sections of votive courses. This is a part of the calendar for 2026. The CET at the top right, that is the time zone it is. CET is Central European Time. So just convert your time zone where you are towards this. Depending where you are, you have to subtract or add. Anyway, so on the 4th of Sunday, the 4th of January, you will see that the last aspect at 8:44 is a trine with Saturn. Just bear with me. This is, if you're not inclined with astrological glyphs, don't worry about it. At 8:44 has the last aspect with Saturn, while the moon is in Cancer. Then at 14:45, the moon enters into Leo. But instead of seeing the color red fire at that time, it is this wild moon. So therefore you see the gray section. And you see here on Monday and Tuesday, the 5th and the 6th, it is still like this gray area of void, course. And then on the 6th at 17:56, the moon enters Virgo. Now then we have, let me see, on the 18th of January, we have a new moon. That is the last aspect. So there we have a very short period of void of course. But when we go to the next slide, the next day, you can see there is a long period of void of course. This is not a wild moon, because this is just the moon transiting through Aquarius, and just the first aspect it makes is with Venus. And Venus must be then very early degrees in Aquarius, because it is a conjunction. So the moon and Venus will be together there until the 21st. Let me see what I put more. Then we have, oh yeah, this is August. We have a total eclipse on the 12th. And you can see that there's a slight green section when the moon enters Virgo, which is an earth sign, therefore it is green, just for a very brief moment, from 12:19 till 14:44, last aspect. And then again, we have a very long period of a void of course. I think that was the last one for, yeah, then we go back again to the 4th of January. So yeah, if you have a look at my calendar, you can download this one for free as well. It is this month. The colors, they show which element the moon is in. Red is fire, green is earth, yellow is air, blue is water. And they all have different qualities, of course. So if you go to my website, starconnections.nl, okay, so go to the shop page, And there you scroll down, you have the printed, the digital, and free guided downloads. So you can just check. Here you see the calendar for 2006. They all have these mandala images. And here you have a Dutch explanation and an English explanation. You can download those free. You can also just click on it and check it out. December and all the other ones, they are free to download, so you can check how it works. Now let me go back here. And that is where I am. And then, yeah, you can have... The promo code is I am love, and then you get a 20% discount on any of the calendar products. So with that all said, all the best wishes for the coming year and also this last month of 2025. And I hope you have an absolute great time. Please like and subscribe. I'm sorry for the stuttering and everything. I just got to get into it and make more videos and keep you updated on what is going on. And I will definitely come back. And please leave me a note. Subscribe to my website as well. I won't bombard you with spams and other lots of mail, just when I feel there is something important. So I hope to see you again in the next year and have a great time. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you very much.